What's up, YouTubers? It's Ernie, Blerd Without Fear, and man, for those who don't know, Wolverine has been dead for quite some time. Well, to be fair, it's only been a little less than 4 years, but at least as far as comic books go, a while. Hunt for Wolverine is not so much Marvel saying, hey, the world's angriest honey badger is back, but more of a mini-series to explain how he's back. This is a story being helmed by the creative team of Charles Soule and Steve McNiven, who, if I'm not mistaken, also presided over the death of Wolverine. So it's only appropriate that they come back and helm the Hunt for Wolverine. Back during the Marvel Legacy one-shot, we see Wolverine show up, wielding the Space Stone, no less, one of 6 Infinity Stones, and we're just expected to say, screw it, he's back, who cares how? Well, in case you're not one of the people saying that, this is the book for you. Now, I'm not doing one of my typical breakdowns for this book, but I am going to talk about some key points in this issue. Wolverine, having since been encased in adamantium, the strongest substance known to man, sometimes with an asterisk, essentially being pronounced dead as a result by every possible test Beast could medically and scientifically run on the man. This and the loss of his healing factor seemed about as set a death as you could get for a guy who is famous for being hard to kill. The thing you have to consider is that he wasn't just encased. His body, his skin was fused with adamantium. A thing you also have to consider is that once he was entombed in adamantium, the X-Men didn't even really know what to do with him. So they pretty much made a monument out of him as a reminder to other mutants and even other heroes of who he was, literally putting him on a pedestal. Not unlike how comic book fans did since the late 80s, even up until today. It's also compelling to see the X-Men conflicted about whether or not they're even being respectful of his passing in this way. We also realize that Wolverine and Reed Richards had somewhat of an off-panel friendship. They've met plenty of times, sure, but it was a rare thing to see the two chit-chatting and knocking back cold ones. Richards even talks about his personal guilt over not being able to get Wolverine to stop fighting and sit his behind down somewhere before he accelerates his own death, which he did. What gets the ball rolling, though, is that the Reavers, who some may remember as the cybernetic mercenary crew of humans who tend to not be fond of mutants led by Lady Deathstrike, a woman who more than hates Wolverine, wrongfully believing that he betrayed her father, the Reavers are on a job to salvage Wolverine's body by any means necessary. Because let's face it, whether as a research tool, a possible weapon, or even as a trophy, he's worth a lot of money. And the Reavers are busted up and need upgrades and repairs. But here's the deal. Wolverine's no longer in the tomb. Kitty Pryde did something that, by even her standards, is the hardest thing she's ever done. Pulling Wolverine's body free from the adamantium that surrounds him because, as I said before, he's bonded to it now. This isn't just some simple walk in the park, or in her case, a simple walk through a wall job. And let's be clear, this is also coming from a woman who phased a building while it was falling onto another building, keeping both from being completely destroyed. What freaks Kitty Pryde out, though, is as she's recounting all this, at his grave, she realizes he's gone, and no one knows where he is, and leading Kitty Pryde to step outside the mutant community for help. She's hitting up Tony Stark and having him put together a team to investigate Logan's missing body. And she even reaches out to the Man Without Fear, Daredevil, to track him down, and of course, the X-Men are involved too. But here's the rub. We, as readers, and maybe even the young Jean Grey, know something that the X-Men don't. We know with 100% certainty he is actually alive. Not only that, but he appears somewhat younger, and wherever he is, he just caught a body on some mook and just sits there, popping his claws, over and over and over again. And it also makes you wonder whether or not his healing factor is intact, because he is bleeding profusely every time he pops those claws. How did he get there? Is his healing factor actually back? Did he just up and weaken at Bernie's his way out of his grave, or did someone else get to him first? Both have startling implications regardless. This series is going to be one to keep an eye on for certain. Maybe even the tie-in books like Weapon Lost, Adamantium Agenda, Claws of a Killer, and maybe even Mystery and Madripoor. And these aren't really even so much tie-in books. These are actually going to be the books you need to read to know what's going on, because this issue is technically a one-shot, but the rest of these are actually kind of spinning out of that one-shot. So, like I said, it's worth a look, especially if you're a Wolverine fan. But anyways, if you've read Hunt for Wolverine #1, let me know what you thought about it. Sound off in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. And if you want to see more awesome videos like this one, make sure you click subscribe so you can become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers, and tap the bell so you know when I post up. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and hopefully I will see you all next time. Plus Ultra!